Barrel rolled is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno-monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Hello, I'm Professor Code at the Forex Super Model, and this is the first of the complex positioning videos, which this is for the 28th of the 12th 2020. These are going to run alongside the daily briefings, which will not start until the 4th of January 2021. But we're going to run these complex positioning videos probably about every 2 weeks. As the complexes change, because these are critical for you to know where you are in the general market. So let's make a start with the very first one then. So let's just put this down. Right, so complexes, as you know from the modeling, we've got 8. We've got the dollar, the US dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound, the CAD, the AUD, the NZD, and the Swiss franc. So they're the initial complexes, of which there are 8. They're the complexes, 8 complexes for the modelling, and these are made up of 7 FX pairs. So each complex is made up of 7 FX pairs. So the dollar complex, for example, would be the euro dollar, the dollar yen, the pound dollar, and they're the core ones which make up the daily briefing. They're the majors, if you like. And then we've got the dollar CAD, the AUD dollar, NZD dollar, and the dollar Swiss franc. So they're 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the dollar complex, of which is made up of the 7 FX pairs from the other 8 complexes, if you like. And just to show you quickly what the others, I won't do them all, but the euro complex would be euro dollar, euro yen, euro pound, euro CAD, euro AUD, euro NZD, and euro Swiss franc. So you can see that the euro complex is made up of everything euro, dollar is made up of every pair dollar designated, and yen would be always have the yen at the back end, etc. So that's just a recap. If you're not sure what complexes are, there's a video in the education section as well. So that's basically where we are at the moment. We've got eight complexes made up of 7 FX pairs, and overall the modelling deals with 28 pairs. So there's 28 pairs because those 8 complexes made up of 7 pairs distill down into 28 pairs. You'll have to just take my word for it, or you can work it out for yourself. Because of the duplication, for example, the euro dollar appears in the dollar complex and the euro complex. So that's just a quick recap of where we are. Now, in terms of complex positioning, which is what we're trying to do, what do we mean by complex positioning? Well, this is modelled modelled complex positioning. So we've got a low or a floor and a top. So, and we want to know where the complex is within our modelled floor and top. So, and we can do this in percentage terms for ease of looking. So that would be at the 50% mark. So, and this would be less than 50% and greater than 50%. So if the complex is operating around here, suppose this is the dollar complex, just an example, it isn't, but let's suppose it is, it's below the 50% line, then we're say, I don't know, 20 or 30% above the floor of the modelled floor. Now, and if it was operating up here, it would be say 80% from the modelled floor, or say 20% from the top. So let's look at the actual complex positions that the modelling gives us for the 28th of the 12th, 2020. So, right, so we'll do them in terms of order. So we've got the pound is the weakest at 21%. So the pound complex as a whole, made up of the 7 FX pairs, is operating 21% above the floor, the modelled floor. Right, the next one is the CAD. Which is 37%. The next one is the euro, which is 44%. The next one is the AUD, which is 46%. Yen, 56%. Dollar, 58%. NZD, 64%. And the Swiss franc finally at 73%. So just to look at these then. So this is from modelled floor. That's important then. So if you're trading going forward, anything to do with the pound, you know that the pound complex as a whole, made up of the 7 FX pairs which feature the pound, is 21% above the modelled floor, not muddled, but the modelled floor, and it's the weakest complex of them all. And then you've got the CAD next at 37%. The euro at 44% and the AUD at 46%. So these are below the 50% mark, if you like, and then the yen takes us over 56% of the modelled floor, and then the dollar is at 58%. So and then the New Zealand dollar at 64%. And finally the Swiss franc at 73%. So how can you use this to your advantage? Well, if you're looking at trading any FX pair, any of the 28 pairs that we currently model, then for example if you wanted to do the euro yen, say, so euro yen, you'd know that the euro complex is operating at 44% above the floor. The yen is operating at 56% above the floor. So So you'd expect, in terms of, you'd know that the yen, the euro yen, would be relatively relatively weak, because the euro is weaker than the yen. So the euro is operating at 44%, and the yen's only operating at 56%. So the yen would be, they're close, but still the yen has it. So the yen, if this was the 50% mark, you'd expect the euro yen to be operating somewhere around here on the modelled curve, complex curve. And likewise, so if you look at the extremes then, so the pound is the weakest complex at 21%, and the Swiss franc is the strongest complex in terms of positioning at 73%. So the pound Swiss franc as a pair, so let's just get rid of this. So the pound Swiss franc, so pound Swiss franc as a pair would be, so the pound is at 21% and the Swiss franc is at 73%. You can see that you'd expect, if this is the model cycle for that FX pair, you'd expect, and this is the 50% mark, you'd expect the pound Swiss franc to be operating very high, near the sorry, very low near the floor, because the pound is in complex terms is the weakest, and the Swiss franc in complex terms is the strongest. So what you need to do is you can use this in terms of general positioning. You don't have to be as you don't have all the data, you can just use it in relative terms. So any others, so CAD, New Zealand dollar, you'd know that the CAD is relatively weaker than the New Zealand dollar in terms of position, and you can get a gauge of where they are positionally. So that is, and what we're going to do is give this information roughly every 2 weeks. There's no point giving it every week, because normally these are very large model highs and lows, and they don't move sufficiently. So and you can get comparisons on a fortnightly basis. So that's what we're aiming to do. So I hope you find that useful. If you trade, these are a very good place to start, along with our daily briefings, which are starting again on the Monday the 4th of January 2021. Thank you very much.